I get full-blown cravings for this very simple cabbage recipe. This is a cabbage curry with turmeric and cumin seeds and not much else. I've been meaning to share it with you for a while, so today is the day. And we're doing it in my brand new kitchen. I hope you like the redesign. Let me know what you think. So I'm gonna show you how to make this cabbage recipe, and at the end, I'm gonna show you how to turn it into a complete one-pan dinner. All you need for this recipe is some regular old green cabbage, turmeric, salt, cumin, and it has to be cumin seed, whole cumin seed. Whole cumin seeds and ground cumin seeds have a completely different flavor. When I learned this recipe, we used ghee, clarified butter, but I don't have ghee right now, so I'm just gonna use regular butter. But you could definitely use oil if you don't wanna use butter. I like to cut the cabbage into ribbons. I find it to be kind of noodly, which I love. So I'm gonna cut it into quarters and cut the core out. So I'm gonna use half of this cabbage, which is about 500 grams. The only other chopping we need to do is garlic. And I'm using quite a bit, about 4 cloves. Now that our garlic and cabbage is prepped, let's hop over to the stove and make this cabbage curry. I have a stainless steel pan here that's pretty large, and I'm gonna turn it on to medium heat. I'm gonna throw in some butter. I'm not gonna be too stingy with the butter, maybe like a good tablespoon. And because I don't want the butter to burn, I'm also gonna throw in a little bit of oil. The great thing about using ghee is that it has the milk solids removed, so it doesn't burn. So you can cook with ghee on really high heat, but when you're using butter, you do have to be careful of it burning. So adding a little bit of just plain, any kind of vegetable oil or coconut oil will help prevent it from burning. Once the butter starts to come up and start to sizzle, I'm gonna add the cumin seeds first. Oh, cumin seeds are amazing. If you've never cooked with whole cumin seeds before, definitely give it a try. I'm gonna add those in first and let them kind of toast, and you'll smell them immediately. And as soon as you start to smell them, you can add the garlic. And then as soon as you smell the garlic, you can throw in the cabbage. Right away, I'm gonna go in with some salt. I'm using about a teaspoon, and I might add more later. And then just give it a good stir and just let it wilt. It'll take probably 5 to 8 minutes to really wilt down. Make sure you're really getting all that garlic and cumin running all the way through the cabbage. I learned this recipe back in about 2009. I was in nutrition college, and a friend of mine in class taught Indian cooking lessons from her home. So shout out to Preeti for giving me this recipe. I'll leave links to her website down below as well. She still teaches cooking classes, I think. The cabbage has been cooking down for about 5-6 minutes or so, and it's starting to get nice and wilted. If you notice any browning starting to happen on the bottom of the pan, you can just add a little splash of water, or you can add a little bit more butter, or both. I actually did a little bit of both. You definitely don't want this to be like frying. You want it to be more steam sauteing. Now that it's mostly wilted down, I'm gonna add the turmeric. A little goes a long way with this stuff. Turmeric doesn't have a super strong flavor. It's kind of just like an earthy flavor, but it gives a beautiful color and a really nice kind of depth. I'm left-handed, so this is really awkward for me, but I don't want my elbow to be in the frame. So beautiful, isn't it? At this point, I'm just gonna give it a little taste to make sure we don't need any more salt. I actually already added a little bit more salt. This cabbage on its own, I could just eat it by the bowlful, but I'm actually gonna add some salmon to this so that it can be our complete dinner tonight. So I have some salmon here, some sockeye salmon, and I'm just gonna throw these fillets right on top. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit, and on the salmon, I'm just gonna sprinkle some salt, a good amount of salt, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of garam masala just to give the salmon a hint of its own kind of character. Kind of rub that on. This is a really lazy way of making a rub. Throw on the lid. This is down to about medium-low now, and I'm just gonna walk away for 5-6 minutes, and that salmon's gonna cook through, and dinner's gonna be ready. That cabbage is so flavorful. Because there's so few ingredients, every single ingredient is so important. Definitely using the right amount of salt, a good amount of fat, because the fat is really what kind of like coats all those cabbage pieces and kind of helps to transfer all the flavor throughout. There's no crispy skin going on here, of course, because it was steaming, so I'll probably just peel off the skin. But this is such a nice combo. This is one of my favorite ways to cook fish, to just steam it in a pan of veggies or something that's already cooking. You don't need any extra equipment. You don't need to dirty another pan. It's such a good method. It just cooks so gently in that steam. And that's it. I'm gonna go and eat this now, and I hope you have a really great week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.